Hello, this is the podcast and social hour, and I am here with
Taylor Houchin,
Jim Lowe's.
and
What's your last name?
Houchin.
and we are going to just have a nice little conversation.
A lot of people, they're like, how do you spell that?
So,
Every time.
I'll show you how lucky I got last year. Last year was maybe a year and a half ago. I never go to the doctors. Well, I go to the dentist, but things like that. But I went to the dentist, and this beautiful lady was my dentist.
She looks familiar to me.
It's Nicole Lockard. I don't know her maiden name.
Okay.
And I have a funny story about Nicole. But then I needed a general GP, and I went to, because I didn't have one, because I hadn't been to the doctor in 20 years, that kind of doctor. And, her name will come to me here shortly. But anyway, I went out and she was beautiful. And then I had to go to the dermatologist because I had some ancient skin cancer. And my dermatologist in Troy, absolutely beautiful. And I thought, boy, how is this happening? And then I go down to the place in out on Far Hills Road in Dayton, for the surgeon to do it. And this great big guy comes in. He was enjoyable, a lot of fun, and I told him, Dr. Hall was his name or something. Anyway, I said, "You're a real disappointment." And he says, "What?" And I said, "All my doctors are beautiful, and you don't make the cut." He laughed. It was funny, but that's true.
Oh, that's so funny.
That was really true.
That is so funny.
And my dermatologist was from Tucson. She was born in Tucson.
Okay.
Which was very interesting. And she's black. And I just say that because she is. But anyway, I think I know her parents because I used to live in Tucson, and I think we all lived in the same neighborhood.
Weird.
And
that's
I haven't been
world.
able to ask her, if she was, an infant at that time, because that would have been about the time that she would have been, one of these.
That is so funny.
And, yeah. So.
It's always so funny when you, like...
Oh, here's a big guy.
People. Hi.
Hi. Do you know?
I don't think we've met before. What's your name?
Eric.
Eric? Nice to meet you. I'm Taylor.
Hi. How you been, Eric?
Pretty good.
I've been good, too. What you been up
What
to?
school?
Not much.
I have no idea.
How's your
Their
family?
uniforms.
Pretty good.
Oh, Holy Angels.
What is that, Holy Angel uniform now? It could be any number around here. There were a lot of children from
Is that
Houston.
Sydney?
No, Rushi out there at the walk yesterday, and
You still watching the sports?
everybody in Rushi's Catholic.
So,
Are you Catholic?
No.
No.
No, I'm a Christian.
No. You're what?
A Christian.
Oh, good. That's excellent. Are you born again?
Yes.
Wonderful. Now, what took you there?
I feel like a lot of it was, my dad was, when I was 2 years old, he broke his neck and was disabled, was paralyzed. And so I think growing up and him having all these health problems and things, we started going to church, and I was raised, going to church and reading the Bible and things like that. And
what
then
happened back there?
My umbrella.
Oh,
just different that happened in that time frame, I think drew me to, whenever I was older, to want to get born again and baptized. And so
It happened to me when I was, after I was divorced. I thought I was a Christian and I wasn't, really, And anyway, I was reading the Bible, and it made sense, and it talks to you in today's terms. It's not ancient history, it's for today. And I would always go to church over to Methodist Church, and I don't go there anymore. I was strict. And but anyway, I would go an hour early, and I would read up on what the scripture was going to be talked about. Mm-hmm. And that and other readings, you know, I realized that I would have crucified Jesus also. And that's what did it. Mm-hmm. And everybody would have.
Yeah.
And anybody that says they wouldn't have doesn't know what they're talking about. Mm-hmm. It's unfortunate. But anyway, that's it. And, you know, where we are now is really the end time. Mm-hmm. We're there. So if you understand prophecy, and I'm going to make a guess you do, that you can see it all coming together very quickly. Did I offend anybody here?
No.
Good. Hmm?
No.
No, good. Because I have that capability sometimes.
I think we all say sometimes things that
may offend. Well, anything you say, you know, depending on the person, could offend them in, you know, different ways. So we all have different backgrounds and, you know, different past experiences that you don't know about. So.
Has anybody seen anything interesting that has happened in the world or media lately, or are looking forward to?
I thought it was crazy that Alec Baldwin shot on set.
Yeah,
Shot
that was
on set. That was crazy.
that's strange. I don't know if he how that happened. I mean, I looked into it a little bit, and they said this isn't the first time something like that's happened.
Yeah.
Like I mean, there was Brian Lee, I think that was his name.
I'm not sure.
You know, Bruce Lee's son.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know Bruce Lee, but okay.
His name is his son, Brian Lee. I think that's his name. He got shot. It was supposed to be a blank, but it shot him in the heart.
Oh gosh, that's crazy.
And then also, I guess even before him, other people have been shot by prop guns.
Yeah. Because there is a wad in a blank, and some people have done one of these stupid things, you know, and blown the brains out with a blank pistol, because there is a blast that comes out, and it will turn the side of your skull into a bullet. But anyway, the Hollywood shooter was last seen at an undisclosed location in New England. And I don't know why they don't call it an alleged accident, so we always have to allow for things, but they don't allow for this here. They put out, that's an accident. Well, maybe it's an accident, maybe it's not. It probably is an accident, but until it's determined differently, it should be an alleged accident, shouldn't it? I think it should, because, you know, we talk about alleged murderers before they're convicted. You know, so this is an alleged accident. And, you know, you even see somebody run over a group of people, which they do. They just did it the other day. Is that an accident, or is that an alleged accident? You know? Well, it's alleged. I'm sorry, but I'm very opinionated, Taylor.
That's okay. That's all right. Makes for interesting conversation.
What do you think about that? Not Chris. It's. Sorry, I forget.
Alec Baldwin?
Yeah, but I was trying to remember his name.
Oh, gotcha.
But I forget your name. What is it again?
Eric.
What do you think about that? Have you heard about that?
I haven't heard about that, no.
You haven't heard about it?
No.
I've sort of glanced over it a little bit. I mean, I watched a little bit about it on this one website called Clownfish TV, but most of it I didn't pay much attention to. I just heard most of it when my grandmother was watching it on the news. But so anything good, interesting happened to you? What about you, Taylor? What's new in your life?
Not a whole lot. Just took the kids to trunk or treat the other night, and that was fun. They loved that.
When is that in Sydney?
I was out yesterday, Wednesday.
What?
That was Wednesday, wasn't it?
Yeah, Wednesday.
Yeah, but that wasn't in Sydney.
Yeah,
That was at the county board.
Yeah,
Yeah.
County Board. Yeah,
Yep.
you had a big show up there. I understand what Jessica said.
Yeah.
But their trick or treat, I think, is an afternoon on the
I could have went to
31st.
that, but my brother forgot all about that.
What is today?
Oh, darn.
29th, 30th. Okay, it'd be Saturday, I think 2 or 3 o'clock. I'll check with Tilda and find out just when it takes place.
yeah, I wouldn't have
Yeah.
mind have went into the after party, the
The bonfire.
bonfire.
Bonfire, I wouldn't mind doing that too.
What?
I wouldn't mind going to the bonfire.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I
so
like bonfires.
how did it go? Like, how long you were there? Yeah, give us the lay down of what it was like. The lowdown.
It was a lot of people there, and my kids had a lot of fun. The kids' favorite part was the fire truck and Sparky, that dog, the big Sparky dog, and they got quite a bit of candy, and they were upset when I took it away. I only let them have a couple pieces and then made them put it away. They were not happy about that. And then yesterday they had their Halloween or costume parade and Halloween party at their school.
Oh,
So that was also fun. My son was the Hulk and Batman. He switched costumes. And then my daughter was the unicorn. So, yeah.
What exactly
It was a
is
good
a
time.
unicorn?
I have no
I
idea.
haven't looked at
It's
it recently.
I don't know.
a horse with a
horn.
horn on the top.
I know there's a lot of mythological legends about him, and I don't know if somebody at one time saw a narwhal and
Yeah.
and
maybe kinda
mistaked
creepy.
it for that, but that's in the water. I don't know how it would be mistaken for a horse, or just found a narwhal's horn. But actually, it's not horn. It's not a horn. It's not bone. It's made out of same thing, or nails and things. I don't think it's bone.
Oh, is that what it's made of?
I don't think
even know.
think it's made out of bone.
That's interesting.
So how old is your daughter?
She's 2.
2. Precious.
Yeah. 2, and then my son's 5.
Okay,
They're fun.
very good.
They are very fun.
Those are delightful ages, and they grow up so fast. I mean, well, I'll be 80 in this January.
Oh my
Okay.
goodness.
You know, and so I know how fast that time flies. You know, and I have a grown young men, you know, that are 6 foot plus, stop me on the square, and they say, "Do you remember me?" And I kind of say, "Yeah, but you've got you've changed. You know, you've grown up." You know, they say, "I used to come to your kitchen for candy." Because I gave out chocolate. I live on the way home from Northwood School, and a lot of kids would come in, and I'd hand out cups of chocolate chips.
Oh wow.
And so all these little kids from the grade school, first through the 5th grade would show up, but now they're grown up. They're absolutely handsome. They're beautiful, and you just go like, wow, you know. What happened? You know. And,
Yeah, it's crazy how fast it goes.
well, if you want an advertisement, people, I had to change phone companies because AT&T was being really stupid. And that's a long story I won't bore you with. But a friend told me about Boost.
Boost Mobile.
Boost Mobile, yeah. And anyway, I went over to Boost, and I also went to T-Mobile and couldn't get even weighted on there. But Boost uses T-Mobile towers, and the word is out now that T-Mobile is actually better than AT&T and Verizon both. But I don't know if that's true or not, but that is what it said. But Boost uses T-Mobile towers. It's very good. I went over to Boost. Anybody guess what this phone cost? You know phone values. It's a Motorola, and has wonderful cameras in it and so
I'm
forth.
going to say about 200.
200.
200.
Mine was like, mine's an iPhone
Yeah, yours
12.
is definitely.
12. What's the newest one out?
I don't know about.
Because it's not the newest, but it's like
I
the
don't
one
know
before
anything
the newest.
about iPhones. I know iPhones are expensive.
Yeah, I think mine was like.
I
don't
know, like
800.
one of the most Samsung phones is about around 5.
Well, most people that I've shown this to said that's a $900 phone.
Yeah,
it's
I was gonna guess.
$1,000 phone.
Up.
No, I
upwards
wouldn't
of
have
that.
said that much.
Well, that's okay. I'm just telling
That's
you what
fine.
other
I
people
know.
said. Because I'm going to tell you what it actually cost me.
Okay.
0, nothing. They gave it to me.
Oh, for being a new customer?
And
Really?
Yes, really. Here, look at it.
Wow.
When I transferred my account from AT&T to Boost, they gave me the phone, and the monthly fee is $35. Nothing else. No this and that, and no taxes, and no nothing else. After 2 months, it's $35, and they put it on your credit card, and it pays it automatically. And that was a big savings also. Over the other side.
That's how I do mine as well. We
I
pay ours online.
make nothing on that advertisement, but it's.
That's awesome. So, do you have unlimited data as well?
I think I do. Yes, pretty much. That's not a problem. But I'll show you the kind of pictures it takes. Here's my kitty in the window.
Aw. That's cool.
And let's see. I'll get to some of the. Oh, here was the moon.
Oh, awesome.
It was the last full moon
That's a
we
nice
had.
shot.
Here's the cats I feed every morning.
Oh my goodness.
Herding cats is something else. There's 9 of them. They live down the street from me.
Oh, geez. We used to have a ton of barn cats at my old house. We lived in the country, and it started out with a couple, and then they multiplied very quickly.
We've
And
only got one cat.
They do.
you have one cat?
Yeah.
What's its name?
Midnight.
Oh, is it black?
Yeah.
I used to have a black cat, and I named him
I like
Gamby.
black cats.
He was a good cat. He died, unfortunately, but I miss him.
Oh, come on.
Do you live around here? Do you live in Sydney? Okay. Yeah, I was telling them I live in St. Paris. That's 20 minutes from here.
The black cat likes to sleep on my porch.
Oh.
Oh, that looks like my old cat.
He is a
Does
big
it
one.
go inside anytime?
No. These are all feral kitties.
Oh.
And you, they're fun. Here's a movie.
Oh, that is really good quality.
Oh, it is. It's.
Is that your house?
Yes.
Okay, I like all the flags.
It's on St. Mary's Avenue.
Okay.
If you go past there.
That is a nice video. It's a nice recording.
Oh, it's absolutely wonderful camera.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it is.
here's the side lot. My house was didn't show up until the house on the corner burned down.
Oh.
And that was in 15.
I don't remember a house burning down.
Yeah, I don't have pictures of it on this phone. But, and yeah, that house on the corner, where the flags are, well, 3 of the flags are, it burned down, and what a fire, whoa. And I saw the people a couple weeks ago at the Saturday morning farmer's market, and this little boy come over to me, he's 13 years old. And again, he says, "Do you remember me?" And I said, "Yes, I do." And then and he started telling me. I said, "Don't tell me your name. I'll think of it." I said, "It's Noah." And he said, "Yes, it's Noah." And because Noah was like 5 and 6 when they lived there. Well, it was 15. And then his parents got out of the car and they were coming over. And I said, "You left right after the fire. I never got to thank you for burning that house down." Because it made my house look nice.
Yeah.
And then I bought the lot, and I wasn't going to, and that's a fun story. The guy who sold me the lot that owned the house that burned down, he doesn't like me anymore. I don't know why. I paid him the price we agreed to. And then we had these really weird people that lived in Kevin Foy's house, which is the house just east of it. I mean, they were so bad. I don't know how many people lived there, but finally the police did haul them all off to jail. It was one of those situations. But before that, they pushed my fence over. They were driving all over everything, and I went over before I had bought the lot, and I talked to the ladies on the porch. 2 of the ladies were actually coherent. The others were drunk all the time or high on something. And I said, "The lot here," I said, "do you want a park or do you want to park on it?" And it's like, huh? I said, "Well, do you want to park or do you want to park on it?" And she finally got what I was saying. And she said, "Well, we would like a park." And the lot looks like it belongs to their house. And I said, "Okay, but the condition is you cannot then park on it. I'll make it a park." And I got out, and I was almost around the corner, and I thought, "You want to park or you want to park on it?" We chose park on it, by the way.
Yeah.
I might get too loud, I'll be thrown out. Oh, well,
So
this is fun.
Yeah. So anybody have plans either this weekend, or does anybody have anything coming up in the future?
I do not. My life is pretty boring,
Oh,
so I don't have any plans.
That can be good, don't complain.
Yeah, no, it is good. Could definitely be worse.
I know. Well, my sister, she doesn't live in Ohio, but I know what she's doing today with my nephew. They're going to a movie. I don't know which theater they're going to watch it in, but I'm going to see it on Monday because it's only playing at certain theaters around.
What movie?
It's
What movie?
it's My Hero Academia, World. I can't remember the rest of the title. My Hero's Mission or something. It's based on a series, and now they're releasing a movie in theaters, and my sister, she sent me a care package. think you saw the video, right?
Yeah, I did.
Well, she sent me a care package, and inside of it was a T-shirt from that show. So I figured, yeah, I'll wear that T-shirt when I go see the movie, and yeah,
Yeah, that'll be fun. I'm excited that you get to do that.
yep. So I'm looking forward to that.
Do you have any big plans this weekend?
Not really.
Do you like movies? What kind of movies do you like?
Action movies.
What's your favorite?
I don't have a favorite. I just watch movies.
You just watch them and yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's a new movie coming out. The Star shoots the cinematographer.
The what?
The Star shoots the cinematographer.
Oh, I thought you said.
Yes, the anti-gun liberal Star
Yeah.
shoots
Ironic.
Hollywood liberal shoots Hollywood liberal. What's wrong with that? Well, a lot actually, but you know.
Yeah.
Are you recording all of this, Matthew?
Yes.
Oh, I'm in big trouble.
Yeah, he's recording all of it.
That's what I do, and then I go home and I edit.
Do not live in Sydney, and so you can't believe anything I say.
Okay. But
That's for the record.
Speaking of films, there are some interesting films in the work. I don't know if anybody's seen the new trailer for the Buzz Lightyear film. I mean, you guys know who Buzz Lightyear is, right?
Yeah.
From Toy Story. Well, Pixar is making a Buzz Lightyear solo film where he's not a toy in this film.
Oh.
He's like a real person. It's still animation, but he's not a toy.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah, I found it intriguing. And he's voiced by, oh God, who played? Do you guys know who played Captain America? Or I forget his name. He's being voiced by him because they wanted him to voice it because they just don't think that. Is it Tom Hanks or not Tom Hanks, but who was in Home Improvement?
Tim Allen?
Yeah, Tim Allen. They just didn't think he was a big enough name to bring in people and stuff. So,
I bet that'll be a good movie.
yeah, I think it will too. I think kids will like it. And I did see last week. I saw Dune, the first half of it.
Did you?
Was it good?
Was it good?
Yeah, it was definitely. It was really enjoyable. I really enjoyed that. I'm a big Dune fan. I like the book. The book is really enjoyable, and this I think somebody finally grasped the concept of what Dune was about. And has anybody ever read it or
I
heard
have
of
not.
it?
What is it about?
It takes place thousands of years in the future. It takes place mostly on a planet called Dune, or it's called Arrakis or Dune. It's a desert planet, and there's a substance there called spice, and mostly everybody wants it. It enhances people. It can extend life.
Oh, okay.
it's about the only way for interstellar travel to happen. So it's, and then there's this whole universal conflict. Like there's different houses. Through these different planets have different houses. So there's rivalries. So it was really interesting. I think, didn't I send you the video, the video I made?
What video? I'm not sure.
I made a first look, my first thoughts of it.
Oh, I don't. If you did send it, I didn't get it. I'll
Yeah.
have to check my messages.
Yep. Yeah.
It sounds really cool, though.
It was. I thought it was really good, and it wasn't saturated with CGI like a lot of movies today are. Like a lot of high-budget Hollywood movies, it was very down to earth, and this is only the first half of the first book.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because there's like 20 books in the series. I haven't listened to them all, but they're good. I like them.
Do you like that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
Like the space
Yeah.
stuff?
But do you have a particular type of genre of space, like sci-fi or something that you like?
Not really.
Okay. What about you?
I'm not really a big movie buff. One of the best, I usually watch like Netflix series. One of the best ones I've seen lately is Made. It's a really good series.
What's that about?
I know, right? Elaborate. It's about this woman who is, I don't think they were married, but she had a child with this gentleman who didn't treat her very well, and she wasn't like physically abused, but she was like emotionally and mentally abused, and he would like throw stuff at the walls and just didn't treat her very well at all. And so she left, and it's about her journey of trying to make it on her own with her daughter, and about how it highlights a lot of the different issues that we have in the system of, she has trouble finding a job because she can't pay for childcare to get a job, and she tries to apply for assistance, but it's such a long process to even get assistance, and she has to hop around to different family members and friends' houses that aren't the best, and her mom's got major mental health issues and ends up in a mental hospital, and
I think I
just
know
about her journey. It's really good.
I think I know which one you're talking about. I've seen it, but I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah. And it's called Maid because she gets a job as a cleaning lady. So.
Doesn't her husband eventually come back and try to get rights or something?
Yes, he does, and he ends up getting rights to their child, and basically his mom's raising her, and he's into drugs and alcohol real bad and things. So, but yeah, I liked it because it kind of highlights a lot of the real issues that we have today with the system. And
I know. I wish our society was better. I mean, I wish it was.
Yep, it's hard to get help if you make even $5 more than the cutoff, and it's just kind of a broken system.
So, what? So have you been watching any sports lately?
No, not yet. I haven't been.
Oh, I know you said you enjoy sports. Well, I I don't think I ever really did watch sports growing up or anything like that.
Did you ever play any sports?
I used to play on softball.
Oh, awesome.
Oh,
I did too.
hardball. We
What?
play hardball.
Did you ever play any sports?
No.
Do you like to watch sports?
No,
Okay.
not a fan.
Oh,
You know, that's the modern day version of the Colosseum. Only there they kill people. Here they only occasionally shoot one now and then, but you know, it's not
Yeah.
quite like it was before. But it's the same thing. It is a distraction.
oh yeah, I'll buy that. I'll buy
Keep
that.
them thinking about this and not that.
Not the real things that are going on.
Right. Last good movie I saw was Age of Innocence. And if you don't know, that's about the
No.
Gilded Age. It's a good show. It had a lot of deep stuff in it, and Scorsese, whoever, you know, who makes really violent movies.
Uh-huh.
And this movie, and he was a director for it, and this movie actually has the most refined violence in it. That, you know, it's very subdued, but it was a very interesting world that those people lived in at that time. And you know, this is 1870s through 1910, kind of that era, and it's based on who wrote the book. I don't think who wrote the book. Anyway, it's based on that book, and it's New York society, you know, at that time. It's a very. You seen it, Matthew?
I know who you're talking about when you said Scorsese, yeah, and New York society at that time. I've researched it.
Well, this is a movie that the cinematography, and I don't think they shot any of the photographers. The cinematography is absolutely beautiful. The sets are beautiful. It is so period. It's worth. Shirley and I went to see it several times at the theater, and you could listen to this. Well, you could turn the sound off and just enjoy the imagery. You know, it was so well done, or you can enjoy the dialogue, and it's great. It really is great, and it doesn't have a lot of aliens coming from whatever which is. I'm sorry to say, I really think it's all fake. That's coming with the great delusion that will come soon onto this world. And even the Vatican is looking for alien saviors. They have a telescope on Mount Graham. You probably are familiar with this.
I've heard about the Vatican, like they were incorporating, like saying that believing in extraterrestrial life is all right now, and I've heard of that. I didn't know exactly about the telescope, no.
But they have a telescope on Mount Graham, which is outside of Safford, Arizona, real close to Tucson, and it's the world's largest infrared telescope, and they're looking for spaceships to come in, and it's on top of it's a sacred Indian mountain. I've been to the top of it because I lived in Tucson, and I've also had. I think it was Easter. It wasn't Palm Sunday, but it was Easter. My neighbor was very, very Catholic in Tucson. Dear lady, she has passed, and she would even go to Rome and visit the Pope. And I had breakfast, and then we had lunch. They had mass in our living room, which I couldn't partake of course, and they had of 3 astronomers from Mount Graham that were there. And we had a very interesting conversation. They worked out of the University of, or Tucson, whatever it is. There's University of Arizona and Phoenix, and there's Tucson something or other. They worked out of Tucson, and it's really real, you know. Tom Horn wrote a book called Exo Vaticana. You would enjoy that, I think. Have you read it?
No.
Okay, you would enjoy that. That explains all of that. And the thing that they missed in the book that I couldn't believe they missed, the road that runs from Nogales up to someplace in Colorado. It's the name of the road before the telescope went up. The number on the road. You ready? 666. And it runs by the road to Mount Graham, where the Vatican has this big telescope, which has the, and they really tortured themselves to get that acronym out of it. But while we lived in Tucson, the Pope visited Tucson twice, once in 78 and once in, let's see, that was 90, I'm pretty sure it was 92, I'd have to check on it. Because I was trying to remember the Pontiacs that KBDO Pontiac loaned them for, they sold them as Pope mobiles. But after the second visit to Phoenix and to Tucson, you know, when dignitaries like this travel, there's always 2 reasons that they do it. There's the one for the public, you know, I've come to, you know, and the other one is the real reason that they came. And the real reason was to get this telescope up on Mount Graham. And the highway is now Highway 191. It's not 666. For whatever that's worth.
That's really interesting.
After the Pope came. After the Pope came. So anyway, you can check that out.
Okay.
It's a lot of fun. Tom Horn also wrote another book recently. It's a very small part that is the good stuff. The rest of it's a novel. It's called The Wormwood Prophecy. And it has to do with the space rock, what do they call it, space rock? Meteorite. Anyway, it's called Apophis. You ever hear of this?
Apophis.
Apophis. Okay, well, Apophis means demon, avenger, killer, or whatever. Anyway, they actually found this space rock, which is huge. It's 1/4 of a mile across, and it's traveling something like 26.
Oh, so it hasn't, it's not on Earth, it's still in...
Yeah. And Horn says that if it is the wormwood of the book of Revelation, we're very, very, very close. And it is supposed to, depending on who you listen to or who you think, NASA says it will pass by Earth near, but it won't hit us. And how near? It will go under our upper satellites.
Yeah.
That's pretty close.
Jeez.
In astronomical terms, that's like,
Yeah.
from me to you, it's like here.
Yeah, that's scary.
You know, it is no distance at all, so it doesn't take much that it could whack us. But anyway, this thing will fulfill the first 4 trumpet judgments in the book of Revelation. It's very interesting. And anyway, it flies by or hits the Earth on April 13th, which happens to be a Friday, of 2029. And if it is Apophis, if Apophis is wormwood, and he seems to think very strongly that it is, then wormwood hits at mid-tribulation, and that would mean that the tribulation would start 3.5 years before that, which would put it in November of 2025. And then that would put something like 3.5 years later, 29, 30, 31, 30, 32, would be the end of the tribulation, and Jesus comes. If that's indeed Wormwood. But if it's not, we could still get a lot of debris and so forth from it. And these things do a lot of damage. Oh yeah.
Yes,
They
yes.
could. And some say it will hit in the Pacific Ocean and kick off the Cascadia Fault.
What's that?
Even if it
The
hits
Cascadia? Well, you've heard this stuff about Yellowstone Park.
Yeah.
There's a big volcano. Well, Yellowstone Park's not the problem because it's venting all the time and it's releasing, but that's a diversionary. Oh, worry about Yellowstone Park. Well, it is something to worry about, but not the big thing to worry about. The big thing to worry about is Cascadia because it runs up and down the west coast. The fault is out in the ocean. And there are 12 volcanoes along the Cascadia Fault, one of them being the famous Mount St. Helens, which blew up in 1980, was it? Around that time. And was a real mess. And it actually formed canyons and so forth in very short order, similar to the Grand Canyon, which didn't form over 200 million years. But anyway, that will absolutely destroy the West Coast. It'll wipe out California. And if that tsunami were to hit, if that does go in there, that tsunami can be like 200 feet tall.
Oh yeah.
There's another one that's going on now that's in the news, which is the volcano off of Spain, the island on Spain. And it slumped here just the last couple of days ago. And they say that has a potential of slumping into the Atlantic Ocean. The big piece of dirt, okay? I don't know how big it is, but volcanoes are pointy like this, and it's on an island, and then they go down like this, they're really big. So if a big hunk of it were to slide off, and there's one like that in Hawaii, they're feared too. But if this thing off the coast of Spain were to slump into the ocean, it will put a rather mighty large tsunami against our east coast, New York City.
Oh goodness.
That's
And they're not prepared for that.
no.
Mm-mm.
No, I don't know who would be prepared for that. I mean,
Well, you can't. The only thing you can prepare for is not to be there. Is that a wave? Oh,
Right.
the water just went out. Is that a wave? Yeah, it's a wave.
I don't know how you would evacuate all of those people.
Well, you can't. That's the answer. You can't because you don't know when it's going to happen. For one thing, you don't know that.
I mean, unless there was.
We live in very exciting times.
Yeah, we do. I mean, but if there was ever a way to build an early warning system.
Yeah, and California has been on fire. The West has been drying up, and now they get these rains, and everything is sliding down the hill. Of course it is. It's that's what happens when you wet land that has been devegetated, and especially in California. And the water thing is very interesting. It's very, very interesting.
Yeah,
All the dry reservoirs.
I hate to hear. I always hated to. I mean, Ohio's water is terrible because of all the. I do resort. It's not farmers, but it's the industry of that. Because there's not
Like the factory farming and all the pesticides
Yes.
and chemicals that are used.
Mm-hmm.
And then the runoff,
Yeah.
the equipment, like the tractors and all the emissions.
Yeah.
that go off
And then it gets
runs
into
the water.
Then it gets into the
I was always concerned about that when we lived in the country where we lived because surrounding us was just nothing but cornfields and bean fields. And we had a well, and I was just, every time that it rained and things, I'm like, oh man, I just feel like all of the chemicals and all of the emissions and, you know, oil and gas and everything is just seeping into, it's going to get into our well. I never drink the water or anything, but I did get a Berkey water filtration system. I don't know if you've ever heard of that, but it keeps like the good minerals and nutrients in your water, but then it like gets rid of all the bad stuff. And that seems to work really well. But you can put like any water in it. You can even use like rainwater, you know, like in an emergency if you know, need water, and you can just go out and like fill it up with a lake, you know, lake water or something, and it'll just filter it out the way that it's supposed to. So it's pretty cool.
You ever seen those straws? It's like supposed to be like emergency. I don't know if they're emergency or they're just.
Oh, I think I have. Was that on Shark Tank? I feel like that was on Shark Tank.
I don't know if they were on.
Where it like filters out the water through the straw.
Yeah, I've heard of like you can just drink out of the stream or something.
Yeah, yep. Like people that go camping or hiking or camping or things like that, they'll use those. Yeah, it's pretty neat.
So do you all use bottled water?
No,
No?
I don't.
I do not.
I don't. Sometimes it get
Do you drink bottled water? No.
I don't either.
I used to buy, you know, 32 packs. Like we would buy like 4 at a time, and we'd go through them like crazy. And I knew it wasn't good for us, you know, because the plastic seeps into the water, and it's not good quality water. And that's why I got that Berkey though, because I researched water. I was real into researching it, and a lot of our water, like our city water, like you think, oh, we can trust this. It's, you know, city water, and they filter it and they make sure there's no bad stuff in it. But you can look on, it's public information. I mean, there's a lot of really bad stuff that's in our water, and depending on where you live, it can be like, you know, some cities are worse than others. But when I started looking into that, I was like, okay, I'm gonna get a filter, and you know, I'll use this water, but I'll filter it out.
What kind of filter is this used?
It's called a Berkey, Berkey. It's just like a steel, or like a stainless steel, like.
It's a tank?
Yeah, and then you just fill the water. You fill it with water. Like I use jugs. Reverse osmosis? It's not reverse osmosis because it doesn't. So reverse osmosis takes out all of the minerals. Like it takes the bad stuff out, but it also takes the good stuff out that our body needs. Mm-hmm. And this keeps the good and takes out the bad.
Okay.
And it uses these charcoal filters, and you can get like 2 or 4. And right now I have 2 of them. I mean, kind of pricey at first, but in the long run, you save a lot of money because you don't have to buy bottled water, and you know.
Well, I got tired of carrying a bottle of water, and they raised the price, and I said, "That's it," you know. And I stopped that. So anyway, I just got a single filter. Mm-hmm. And I hooked it up to my water line, which is easy to do. And it has a Culligan drinking water filter in it. And it's very nice. You know, and the filters you have to replace depends on your usage. They're good for like 600 gallons, but I'm just me, so I don't use 600 gallons in 6 months. And they cost about $30 if you buy them right online. But all of your things, and you probably know this, you know why you need to change water filter? Like your system, like my system, you get mold, water molds.
Yeah.
And if you check your faucets in your house, you may have, if there's black stuff around the faucet, it's mold. Okay, and you can have just perfectly clean water coming out of your faucet, and you can sometimes, if there's a screen on it, you just put your finger around the screen, and there'll be some black stuff come out. It's mold, you know. Or you can take a toothbrush and you can go around this and scrub that screen, and the mold will come plopping out.
How do you clean that? That's gross. How do you clean that?
You just wash it away.
But I mean, could there be mold in the actual
water line.
Yeah.
Well, it's pretty much flushing out there. It forms where there's the air water contact,
Okay.
where water sits. You know, if you let water just sit long enough in a bowl, it'll mold. And you know, why does it does things like that? It's because of what's in the air. You know, you can make bread without adding any yeast because there's yeast in the air, and you can actually, that's the way they make sourdough bread and so forth.
I never knew that. That's
It actually
interesting.
pulls that yeast out of the air. So, you know, and none of these things are bad. You just have to be, I mean, they were all set up for a reason to do that. There really is a design of all things, you know, and when we don't like spiders, well, spiders are good. I don't like them on me, but, you know, they're there for a purpose. And anytime we try to really mess up with those things, we get in big trouble. Big trouble.
Yeah.
You know, like the Bubonic Plague that killed, well, depending on what you believe, in the Dark Ages, maybe half the population of Europe.
Yeah.
And why? What was it caused by? It was caused
It was
by
fleas, but it was on mice. The fleas were on mice. They were basically the fleas vomited on.
yes.
And then, but the Europeans, they got rid of all the like cats and things that.
Right. He's right.
Yeah.
They were superstitious of cats. They thought they were demonic. And the people killed cats. And the cats weren't there to eat the mice and the rats, which had the fleas. And about half of Europe died because they upset the God-given ecological system. You know, the cats are put there for a purpose.
Yeah.
And so were the mice, by the way. And the fleas, too. But
But it threw everything out
don't
of
think
whack.
you're smarter than the big guy. Because he got you
It
beat.
gets us in trouble every time.
Got you beat coming and going.
I don't know why they thought cats. That part I never did get. I don't know why they thought cats were demonic. I mean, they don't seem.
Well, you know what they say made the Dark Ages dark.
Ignorance? Ignorance?
Well, yeah, you're right. It wasn't because the sun didn't shine, because it did.
Yeah.
I get in a lot of trouble here. I have many Jewish friends. I have many Catholic friends. But what made the Dark Ages dark was the Catholic Church.
Yeah.
They hid. They'd tell you what it was. They would burn you at the stake if you read the Bible. And there were no translations into common languages.
Yeah, 'cause they wanted to tell
of
you
the
what
Bible. And people that did translate the Bible were burned at the stake.
I've never heard that, but I have
Oh,
heard.
yeah.
I have heard that
Yeah, Wycliffe.
that the churches they wanted to tell you what the Bible said.
Yeah.
They wanted to
Well,
so they could stay in control. Basically, I think.
Yeah, it was a. You all read the Bible? Okay. Read the Bible? Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think the Bible speaks to us in today's terms? When you're reading a story that is actually talking, it applies to today, not just back then, but it applies. You believe that? Do you believe that, Matthew?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Then I'll give you one, and I went over this with Nancy Deffenbaugh. You probably know Nancy.
I know
She's a
her.
very good friend of mine. I know you do. Yeah.
I don't think she knows her. She is a retired school
Well,
teacher.
She still teaches out at Lehman.
Oh, she does?
Yeah. She
Okay.
subs all the
Okay.
time.
But,
Well, anyway, Nancy and I read Well, actually, Nancy read it because my eyes were dilated and I couldn't see nothing.
Oh,
But read Matthew 23. Read Matthew 23. And it's Matthew.
yeah.
Matthew 23. And it's where Jesus is talking about the Pharisees, the scribes and the Pharisees. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, and goes on and on and on. And I read that all the way through, and it's very interesting. It's really loaded. And then you go back and you read it like this. You take where it says scribes and Pharisees, put in the ancient Jewish religion was still current, but I mean the Jewish religion of Jesus' time, there was the scribes and the Pharisees, and there was a high priest also. And I asked Nancy, I said, well, Nancy, if what we're saying here is true, I said, who's the high priest? Care to make a guess? The Pope. Pope. And Nancy said, the Pope. And I said, well, that's the only conclusion you could come to,
right.
With that. But, and that's not knocking, that is the predominant Christian religion today. And I had lots of Jewish friends because I did a lot of business with Jewish folk, very wealthy Jewish folk out of New York. And anyway, my neighbor across the street, she was a
Lively conversation. And this is Matt and
Taylor.
and George Soros.
Eric.
this is us signing off, and hear from us next week.